Over the years, I've worked with thousands of senior golfers. Most of them come to me because they want to hit the ball farther. They believe that if they hit the ball farther, they will somehow become a better golfer and score lower. But that's not true. I remember when I first started to play golf over 60 years ago, I went to the local pro and I asked, how do I become a better golfer? How do I score lower? And he said, well, Philip, there's two things you have to do. You have to keep the ball in play, and most importantly, you have to work on your short game. He did not say, well, Philip, all you have to do is hit the ball farther, and then you will just automatically score better. Today everything's about distance. It's about height and technology. It's about high-tech drivers and high-tech golf balls and high-tech launch monitors. But golf has never been about distance. It's never been about how far you hit the golf ball. It's about getting the ball into the hole in fewer strokes. In this video, I'm going to explain exactly how you can evaluate your short game to see how good you really are, and also how to score a lot lower without hitting the ball any farther than you already do. Hello senior golfers. In this video, I'm going to explain how you can greatly reduce your handicap without hitting the ball any further. Now here I have the first hole at Goose Creek, the distances at Goose Creek. At Goose we have 4 tees. It's a par 4. The up tee is 268 yards and the back tee is 381 yards. This here is, I call from 100 yards in, I call this the scoring zone. This is where we're going to be focusing on in our video today, the scoring zone. Now I want you to be able to, easily on a par 4, within 2 strokes, get within the scoring zone. I mean, if you're an older senior golfer and you're playing the 381 to 4 tee, you're going to struggle to get within 100 yards. You're probably playing the wrong tee. Now, from number 1, it's 268 yards. Even if you hit your driver 150 and your next 100, you're pretty close to the green in 2 strokes, and now you're at the right tee. Even from this number 2 tees, it'd be pretty easy for you. But as you get longer, you don't want to play back here. On par 4s, you want to be able to get within the scoring zone in 2 strokes. Now, I have one of my students named Susan. Her goal this year is to significantly lower her handicap. And this is how we're going to do it without having her hit the ball any farther. What I do is every time Susan's in the scoring zone within 100 yards, I have her keep score of how many strokes it's going to take her to get in the hole. Every time within the scoring zone. From the tee, all I want her to do is just keep the ball in play and just get within 100 yards in 2. So let's say, for example, on the first hole, Susan hits it here and then hits it on the green in 3 putts. So it takes her 4. On the next hole, Susan hits it right next to the green and chips on it 2 putts, so it's 3. On the third hole, Susan's 90 yards away, but then she hits into a sand trap, and it takes her 2 to get out of the sand trap, and then she's frustrated, makes 3 putts, so it took her 6. Anyway, as Susan progresses around the 18 holes, she keeps track every time how many strokes it takes her to get it in the hole. On the first 9, it took her 34 shots. On the second, it was 32. So 66 strokes for the day. So what I do is I just have her take the 66 strokes, divide by 18. It comes out with 3.7. That's her handicap. That's how many strokes it normally takes her to get it in the hole once she's within 100 yards of the hole, her scoring zone average. Now, if we can get Susan to reduce that to 3.2, that's knocking off a half a stroke per hole. That's going to take 9 strokes off her game. 9 strokes. I mean, that's a big improvement to knock 9 strokes off your handicap. And you might say, well, that's pretty hard to do. But it's really not. Let's take a look at Susan's scorecard here. How many times did Susan get in the hole in 3 or less? See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 times she got in the hole in 3 or less. Her scoring average for those 11 holes was under 3. So Susan has the ability. The problem is these holes were the severe mishits, where it takes her 2 or 3 to get out of a sand trap, or she 3 and 4 putts, or double takes her 2 to get on the green from 30 yards away. This is what's hurting her score. She has the ability. There's too many severe mishits. Now, if Susan can, her ultimate goal is to average 3 for the whole 18, or 54 strokes, and that's going to take 12 strokes off her score. Now, you cannot take 12 strokes or 9 strokes off your score by hitting the driver 20 yards farther. It's not going to happen. In fact, if you hit the driver 20 yards farther, but your scoring average, if Susan does, but her scoring average is still, her short game scoring average is still 3.7, she's not going to improve. Her handicap's going to stay the same. But this year, we plan on Susan making big improvement through simply focusing on this: the scoring zone, getting in the ball into the hole in fewer strokes, once within 100 yards. So if you have any comments, please leave them below. If you want to contact me directly, you can do it through my website, philmoregolf.com. If you'd like to subscribe, I post effortless senior golf videos once a week. Just subscribe below. I'll look forward to hearing from you, and thank you for listening.